In the 1967 film Belle de Jour with Catherine Deneuve, it's a story about an upper middle class couple living in Paris. They have everything going for them, but she's bored. Something's something's missing. She embarks on a part-time job in a less than reputable establishment. Belle de Jour was practically considered a pornographic film at the time, but by today's standards, it would be standard fare on Netflix. We seem to have crossed over all the barriers of goodness and decency in our time, but something also still seems to be missing. What was Catherine Deneuve looking for in her time, and what's still missing in our time? Perhaps it's the healing. And perhaps we're looking for it in the expected places and missing out on the opportunity of finding it in the unexpected and even in the most disreputable of places. Welcome. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. At Illinois Bridging Awareness, we're trying to find what's missing, and we're open to any and all suggestions. Last week, I heard that our solar system was actually traveling through the inside of another solar system, and that explains everything that's going on. We are all looking for a rational explanation for everything that's going on around us because everything seems to be so crazy. More likely, our situation is about recovering from trauma. A couple of weeks ago, David Buck walked us through the process of experiencing and recovering from trauma, starting with suffering and then moving into emptiness, and then on to polarization, where we see the world as black and white, right and wrong, and my way or the highway. Then we move into the merger of suffering and emptiness and on to the healing. If that all doesn't sound bad enough, David said we need to complete this cycle at least once in our lifetime, if not repeatedly throughout our lives. It's not so much a linear journey, but a cyclical one. And if we rise each time in the cycle, we can actually make something out of it. It's just like our solar system traveling through the inside of another larger solar system, we can expand our worldview and have perspective. I'm not one of those people that believe that bad things happen for a good reason, but I do believe the universe is trying to provide something for us. And that something is probably what's missing in our lives. And that's the healing. We simply have been unaware of how the universe has been trying to provide it to us. We've all been through a horrific time, the pandemic, the economic upheaval, and political unrest, plus all of our own personal challenges. No matter how small our personal challenges might seem, they are all very, very significant because they're part of your journey. A couple weeks ago, people have been sharing with me the idea and the situation that they were actually sat down at work and given a talking to. And I was so struck by that because none of us want to hear criticism or have a talking to. But I've been intrigued by it because I think, well, what's the story or the message in the talking to? Beyond the criticism, what are they saying and what are we hearing? Is it an opportunity to work through that particular level of trauma, the suffering and emptiness of that, the reactionary polarization experience, and moving beyond that experience into healing? When a friend of mine and her husband were looking for a new home a number of years ago, they happened upon a vintage brownstone. They were amazed by the woodwork, leaded windows, and charming details. They remarked about it to the realtor, and the realtor explained that that's simply how they did things in their time because that's what they had to work with. They used what they had at hand. They had skilled workmen, fine woodwork, stone, and marble, and that's what they used. In our time, we have plenty of things to work with, and we must do the same. We need to use what we have in our time to actually make something out of all of it, for good and for bad, looking for healing in all of it, in the most unexpected places, and even in the most disreputable of places. We might be surprised where we find it. On the other side of polarization, and at the other side of suffering and emptiness. At the end of the film Belle de Jour, we're led to believe that the story had a tragic end. Yes, there was suffering and there was emptiness and also healing. And healing is never an ending, it's just the beginning. If you would like to join us at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.